Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of The American Patriot. And I am your host, R. Leland Avellino. And I'm just talking to my followers out there who followed me on my podcast, The American Patriot, which you can find on any of your podcast areas such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, or any platform, and you'll find American Patriot. Simply go to your favorite podcast, search American Patriot, and you'll come to my podcast. So now I've decided that I would go live on YouTube or Facebook or both so that people could actually see me. And so this is my first live political commentary and analysis. And as you can see behind me, the flag that I posted as part of my background is the Liberty or Death flag from the American Patriot who made that famous speech to the Continental Congress that ended with him saying, "And as for me, give me liberty or give me death." And you know I am a strict constitutionalist. I'm a constitutional conservative. And so therefore, this is a perfect flag for me. I just wanted to briefly touch on that fiasco they called the debate on ABC News last night. Now, we all know that the mainstream media is completely biased against Donald Trump, but you have to take it for what it's worth. And ABC is absolutely the worst. And so I hope if there is another debate that Donald Trump will only agree to a debate if it's given by an honest network, which in my opinion is Fox, because they will ask Kamala Harris the appropriate questions, and when she fails to answer the questions as she did last night, then hopefully they will ask follow-up questions like, "Please, how about answering my question?" Like the first question was asked of her was, did she think the American public was in a better position now than they were 4 years ago when Trump was president? And of course, she refused to answer the question. She went rambling on with her speech. She was raised in a middle-class family, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and never answered the question. And so David Muir should have followed up and said, "Vice President, that was basically a yes or no answer. And if you think the American public is better off now than they were 4 years ago, then give us your answer as to why." But they never did any of that. And so, again, the bias in the moderators last night, a blind man could see it. So basically for Donald Trump, it was 3-1, but I think he held his own. But again, they didn't want to ask any of the questions that are really of a concern to American public. They want to continue to preach on the last election. Do you agree that you won or you lost? All the other things that are negative against Donald Trump, those are the only questions they want to ask. So again, in my opinion, the moderators were terrible last night. And I hope there won't be another debate unless it's on some platform like Fox. So again, this was my initial video tryout, if you will, on Facebook or YouTube. So I hope you will join me, your host, R. Leland Avellino of American Patriot. And I'll see you on my next podcast or my next live stream. Thank you so much for joining me.